In this video, we will be talking about order of operations. When we talk about order of operations, it's the order in which we should solve equations. Now, we often learn a mnemonic for order of operations, which is PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The P stands for parentheses, or brackets really, it's just grouping symbols. E is exponents. M is multiplication. D is division. A is addition, and S is subtraction. Now, when we multiply and divide, we need to do that left to right. And that is the same thing with your addition and subtraction, so left to right. And so when we have an expression that we need to evaluate, so for example, say I have 27 divided by 3 squared times 2 minus 3. And I need to figure out then what do I do first here. Now, order of operations tells me exactly what order to do it in to get the correct answer. First, look at the letter is P. That's the first one in our order of operations. Do I have any parentheses or grouping symbols? In this case, I don't. So I'm just going to continue on down. Do I have exponents? Yes, I do. I have exponents right here with 3 squared. So I'm going to do that first. So when I solve this, I do 27 divided by 3 squared. 3 times 3 is 9. So I have 27 divided by 9 times 2 minus 3. Good, so we've done our exponents. Moving down the list, I check for multiplication and division. Now in this problem, I have both. I have multiplication and division, so I need to go left to right. Start at the very beginning of the expression and go to the right. So what comes first is division. I have 27 divided by 9. That's the first thing I'll need to do before I multiply. So 27 divided by 9 is 3. So now I have 3 times 2 minus 3. So again, now I have multiplication and subtraction. The multiplication will come first before subtraction. And so I have 3 times 2, that's the next step here. Let's make that green. 3 times 2 is 6. Now I have 6 minus 3, and now we can subtract. That will equal 3. So we need to be careful in the order we do these expressions and evaluate so that we don't get the wrong answer. If we do it out of order, we can end up potentially with an incorrect answer. Let's look at another example here. I'll draw a line here. Let's look at, let's say I have 7 times 13 minus 8, and I need to decide what it is I do first. So I look at my order of operations, and the first thing is P, parentheses. So I look at the parentheses, and I ask myself, okay, what can I do inside those parentheses? Well, I can subtract the 13 minus 8. So I'm going to do that since I have 13 minus 8 is 5. So this really then is 7 times 5. And now I can just multiply, and that's 35. Let's look at another example here. Let's say I have 24 minus 3 squared plus 1. So again, following order of operations, I check for parentheses. I have parentheses, so I look inside the parentheses and ask myself, is there something inside of the parentheses that I can do? Well, yes, I have 3 squared plus 1, so do I add first, or do I do my exponents? I need to do the exponents first. So I need to do 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. So I have 24 minus, this is still in parentheses, 9 plus 1. Now I still need to complete what the parentheses are. I need to add within those parentheses. So I need to do the 9 plus 1 next. So that becomes the 9 plus 1. The next step is 10. So now I have 24 minus 10. I should have written that in another color. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have 24 minus 10. At this point, I don't need to write the parentheses around that 10, so I can also erase that, which is minus 10 is the parentheses up there. Okay, so 24 minus 10, I now subtract. The answer is 14. And I'm done. It's been evaluated. Let's look at one more example. Let's say I have 2 times, I've got grouping symbols here, 30 minus 8 plus 13 in brackets. Okay, so according to order of operations, remember I need to check for parentheses, which really means parentheses or brackets. They're grouping symbols. So I first look at our biggest grouping symbol, which is our brackets. I need to do what's inside of there first. So I look inside of the brackets and ask myself, okay, according to order of operations, what is it I need to do first? And that will be our parentheses. So now I'm looking at these parentheses, and that's what I need to solve first. So I need to add within these parentheses. So 8 plus 13 is 21. And I now have, get that color, 30 minus 21. So that's in your brackets times 2. Now, I still have the brackets. That's what I need to do next. I need to do my groupings here. So now I do 30 minus 21. So before I even multiply, even though the order of operations say I need to do exponents, multiply, divide, remember left to right, then add and subtract, again left to right, I need to do what's inside of my brackets, even though it's 2 times that bracket. And so I need to do 30 minus 21, which is equal to 9. So I subtracted within the brackets, and now I just multiply. 2 times 9, the brackets mean multiply. 2 times 9 is equal to 18. We'll actually do one more example on this video where I want to evaluate the expression when x is equal to 4. So let's look at the expression. Let's say I have 9x divided by 3 times x plus 2. So if I'm evaluating an expression when x is equal to 4, that means I need to plug 4 in wherever there's an x in the expression. So for every x, I need to plug in 4. So I have, it's the wrong color. I now have 9 times 4. I'll change that color again. So I have 9 times 4 divided by 3 times 4 plus 2. These greens look a lot alike. I keep switching those up. Anyway, so I just plugged 4 in for the x's in the expression, and now I need to decide what it is I do according to my order of operations. So I have parentheses. So I need to check my parentheses. In the numerator, there's nothing to do inside those parentheses. In the denominator, I can add. So I'm going to add within the parentheses down in the denominator. I still have 9 times 4. I'm just going to write that with a dot up top. And down in the denominator, I have 3 times 6. Again, I can write that with a dot to indicate multiplication. Okay, so now in the numerator, I am multiplying. In the denominator, I am multiplying. I can just do those each. So 9 times 4 is 36. 3 times 6 is 18. So 36 divided by 18. Now I divide. The fraction bar just means division. So 36 divided by 18 is 2. And I divide and I'm done. So hopefully this helps you learn order of operations.